Love you all. Welcome all you lovers to the Florida Love Show. This is your love hour right before happy hour, sponsored by Florida Love. Join us each week as we spread love in the Florida community and transform the world with love. Now, back to spreading love.
Florida Love Show theme song. In the Florida Love Show, paying love forward is the theme. It's the Florida Love Show, hosted by Kenny and History. Every special guest brings their love to the set, and the interview flies. It all comes alive like a duet. Show your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Follow this man. Live your dreams. Plan your day. If you love them, you are on your way. In the Florida Love Show, Kenny in red is your guide. He wears many hearts, though he has a very special side. Now in Brooklyn Cafe, there's a big love buffet with roses galore, men you are adore. Come take a bouquet. Show your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Follow this man. Live your dreams. Plan your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Show your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Follow this man. Live your dreams. Plan your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Show your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Follow this man. Live your dreams. Plan your day. If you love them, you are on your way. It's the gift of love, so pay it forward, love it forward, and go. Give a kiss, give a hug. It's the Florida Love Show.
Sharon, I love you so much. So welcome all you lovers to the Florida Love Show. Today I am honored to have this show dedicated to the Alzheimer's community and loving everyone who deals with Alzheimer's in their lives. And what I've noticed this whole week, this has been an amazing week for me, discovering all the love in the Alzheimer's community. Everybody loves each other, and then all the caregivers who spread love, everybody who's dealt with it. And what I'm amazed by is that Sharon, who sang the Florida Love song, her grandmother Rachel had passed from Alzheimer's. And I didn't even know that till till we started speaking about the show. And then Rachel Barcellona, who I've had on the show many times, she's a huge autism advocate, and she has ability beyond disabilities. She's spoken at the United Nations. I mean, she's so involved in helping the world and bringing happiness to the world. And Rachel's grandfather had passed from Alzheimer's. And so again, I noticed how pervasive Alzheimer's is in the world. And I've been learning what people go through. And I'm just really honored to love everyone in the Alzheimer's community. And so I want to speak a little bit about Florida Love. So here at Florida Love, we provide a platform to spread love in the Florida community and transform the world with love. So here we love it forward. And I have this rose today because I call this the magic rose, the magic wand of love. And I always say, who can I give a rose to today? Who can I spread love to today? And I had the honor of spreading love just at noon today at Bed Bath & Beyond in Boca. We gave over 200 roses to everyone. And for me, I'm in love with life right now. I always say to myself, if I want to love myself, go out and love everybody else. So for me, love is the absence of judgment. Love is just one human being to another. And if the world could give up all the labeling and just love human beings for who they are. We were all born, we were all babies once, so we were all pure love. When we were born, we were pure love. So I love you all. I'm so honored, the show. And what I want to do is, I had the privilege of being on the news this week. I want to send my love to Lisa Petrillo, who invited me to be on the show, on the news, CBS 4, and for Roses for Change, where we are spreading love in the world. And actually, the movement is now moving to San Francisco and New York, and I love if everybody could get involved. Please sign up for it on Facebook, Roses for Change. So I want to show the news clip now so everybody can get an idea of what Roses for Change is all about.
Welcome back. Now at 5:30, who couldn't use a little love right now?
One Pompano Beach businessman is making it his mission to spread love all around by giving out the flower of love to random strangers. CBS 4's Lisa Petrillo has this heartwarming story.
There's an old song with lyrics that say what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Ken Lehrman is living that moment in a movement he created called Roses for Change.
We love you.
The idea for Roses for Change came about after the death of George Floyd and the turmoil that followed.
I felt their pain. And for me, I don't see color. I mean, I see us all as human beings. And we all can love each other. I mean, love is simple.
Ken, who owns his own printing business for 35 years, appropriately named the Happy Printer, decided to spring into action, purchasing dozens of roses he could hand out.
The first thing I did was I went to Whole Foods, and I also went to Publix, and I gave out roses to all the African Americans in the store. And I said, I love you. And they said, I love you back. And they said, God bless you. And they said, we need love more now than ever before.
Ken was so moved by the response, he posted pictures on Facebook, receiving 600 likes. Suddenly, Roses for Change on Facebook was born. His followers wanted to join him, buying roses too, and it's now become a movement, spreading love to people of all races. We recently caught up with them in Boca Raton.
I just want to say I love you. Have a wonderful day.
Michelle Bellman, who had never met Ken in person, wanted in on the love train and came out on this day to volunteer.
His message is just of love, and love yourself, and love one another. And he speaks to my soul, and he speaks to me because I love to spread love as well.
Some were skeptical, wondering if there's a catch to these random acts of kindness. But for those who understood it, it meant the world.
I think it's just amazing. This is really, really nice. You're really showing your love. You're taking your time to do this. Just amazing. And the red flowers, forget it. Just bringing brightness to this world. It's much needed. Thank you so much.
Seriously, so sweet.
Can you imagine what a world it would be like if we just all gave roses to each other instead of what's actually going on? Like, to me, that's a way to spread a message. Spread the message of love.
Lucky me, I received my rose. For more information on Roses for Change when they meet every Friday, go on to our website at cbsmiami.com. I'm Lisa Petrillo, Smell and Sweet, CBS 4 News.
So welcome back. So let's all love each other. Let's all love each other. So I want to bring on my first guest, who I am honored to have with me today, Rachel Barcellona, and she is amazing. I love Rachel so much. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, how are you?
I'm in love with life. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Great, great, great. So Rachel, I want to show the Sephora video so people get an idea how you spread love in the world.
Oh, I would love that. Let's bring that video to life.
I'm Rachel and I have autism. I was diagnosed with autism at age 3. I have epilepsy and dyspraxia, which is another thing that comes with autism. It's kind of like a package deal. I had trouble walking, sitting. I have weakness in my hands. I couldn't even hold a pencil, but yeah, I was bullied a lot. Always being told that I was stupid. I remember being in my principal's office in preschool. There were doctors in there saying, this girl's never gonna amount to anything. It's hard because I never really thought of myself as beautiful for the longest time. But Sephora really inspired me. So it started from teaching myself how to hold a pencil to an eyebrow pencil, and I don't think I do a terrible job. I did my own makeup today. Recently, I found my own beauty. When my mom and I go into Sephora, I like playing with lipstick and lip gloss. But to be honest, I think that people shouldn't be afraid to go natural because you should embrace the beauty you have on the inside. As a kid, I wanted to be an author so bad. That was just within me. And now I'm in college, double majoring in creative writing and communications. Since I have autism, I used to hate loud noises. But right now, music plays a big part of my life. I'm going to have my own radio show that will explore the barriers between opera and heavy metal, and I'm excited. Well, I think everybody still struggles to belong. We always have to find our place in this world, and we're always working hard, but I think I belong now because I have people who care about me, they love me for me, and I'm starting to love myself every day, and that's good, right? Autism doesn't hinder people. We are not like what people see in the media. We are capable. I just tell myself, Rachel, you're not disabled. You can do this. We can conquer anything.
Beautiful, Rachel. So let's all love ourselves today. Beautiful. So Rachel, tell me about your grandfather Jermaine, who passed from Alzheimer's.
Oh wow, that is going to be a long story because he led such an amazing life. He was a professional hockey player in Canada, and what led me and my family to believe he had Alzheimer's is because back in his day, they didn't have helmets, and he got hit in the head so many times. So the trauma probably was really harsh to his brain. So it sucks, but it happens to people, and that really fascinated me. I wanted to study those kinds of brains, and that led me to taking a psychology class because of it. And I'm still looking into that today because I loved learning about Alzheimer's because of him.
Beautiful, beautiful. So Rachel, I want to show a quick clip so everybody gets to know your beautiful grandfather, Jermaine.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he was a great inspiration to me, and I hope everyone loves this slideshow that you put together.
Wow.
Now, he passed away when I was in my senior year of high school, so that was a lot to go through and a lot for me to see, but I learned a lot about Alzheimer's because I helped when he had to go to the hospital and eventually a home for Alzheimer's patients. He eventually defaulted to French, which was what he first ended up speaking, and then he couldn't talk at all. But what really made me realize that this is a real thing was when his legs gave out and he couldn't walk. He fell down and he said to my grandma, "Give up, Moira." And that just made me think, I gotta help, because I love him very much.
And Rachel, you prepared a song to sing to your grandfather Jermaine today.
I did. I actually wanted to dedicate it to my family because the lyrics are sort of hitting the perspective of everybody. I think from my grandma too, because I listened to it and thought of how she had to take care of him in the hospital and how we had to as well. So it's called Nobody's Home by Avril Lavigne, because when you have Alzheimer's, it's like nobody's home, but eventually you learn to get through it.
Beautiful. So let's sing that love song to your family.
All right. I hope you can hear it. Okay. I couldn't tell you why she felt that way. She felt it every day, and I couldn't help her. I just watched her make the same mistakes again. What's wrong now? Too many problems. Don't know where she belongs. Where she belongs. She wants to go home, and nobody's home. It's where she lies, broken inside. There's no place to go, no place to go. And dry her eyes, broken inside. Open your eyes and look outside. Find the reasons why you've been rejected, and now you can't find what you left behind. Be strong now. Too many problems. Don't know where she belongs. Where she belongs. She wants to go home. Nobody's home. Where she lies, broken inside. No place to go, no place to go. To dry her eyes, broken inside. Her feelings she hides, her dreams she can't find. can't find a place. She's losing her faith. She's falling from grace. She's all over the place. Wants to go home, nobody's home. It's where she lies, broken and sold. No place to go, no place to go. We dry her eyes, broken inside. She's lost inside, lost inside. Oh. She's lost inside, lost inside. Oh. That's it.
So Rachel, one of my favorite things is holding my mom's hand. I love my mom so much. I noticed how much you loved holding your grandfather's hand. What was that like for him and you?
It is a wonderful experience. I loved holding my grandpa's hand because it meant so much to me. And it's great when you realize that he cares. And I know he did, because he wasn't really a lovey person, but then everything changed when he had Alzheimer's, and it made me happy.
So did you notice that he became more affectionate when you were affectionate with him, that affectionate and love is so important with your grandfather who had Alzheimer's?
Yes, every time we came into the place he was being housed, he just smiled. He was so happy to see us.
Beautiful. You were sharing with me how your mom was crying when she saw the dedication to your grandfather today.
Oh, yeah, she was very much. I think we all were.
Yeah. So I really am moved today in how much I love Jermaine, your grandfather, and you, Rachel. And tell me a little more about your grandmother. How come you sang that song to your grandmother?
I sang it because I thought the lyrics reminded me of what was going on in the hospital and how we were feeling, maybe what she was feeling. Because when you have someone, especially someone you have known for so long with Alzheimer's, you kind of feel lost, and you just have to try and get through it together.
Beautiful. So is there any message you'd like to leave with everybody about Alzheimer's and love?
That it's hard, but I know you'll heal.
Beautiful. So Rachel, I want to really thank you today for that angelic, your voices. You're just an angel, and I love you so much. So I really want to thank you for sharing your beautiful memories with your special grandfather today with us.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break, and then we're going to come back with Keith Gibson from the Alzheimer's Association. You've been listening to the Florida Love Show. Please contact me, Kenny Love, at 917-699-1995 or Ken at florida-love.com or on our website, www.florida-love.com. And if you'd like to advertise on the show and spread love in the Florida community, please let me know. Now back to the show. Welcome back, all you lovers, to the Florida Love Show. So this show, again, I am so moved by all the love in the Alzheimer's community. And I had the honor of speaking with Keith Gibson, who I call Keith Love, because I call everybody Love. And he shared with me about his brother Ronnie, who had passed from Alzheimer's. And already I love Ronnie so much, I love Keith so much, and we just shared for an hour. I mean, I was in tears just listening to him, and he's the director of programs for the Southeast Florida office, and he was sharing with me about the caregivers and how much love they provide to all the Alzheimer's community. So I would like to introduce you to Keith Gibson. I'm honored to have Keith on the show. Hey, Keith. I love you, Keith.
Hey, Ken. Back at you. Love you, too, as well. Thank you for having me today.
You're welcome. So, Keith, share with me about the caregivers and all the love they provide and just everything, like, or even Ronnie, share about your brother, whatever you want to share about.
Well, I have two connections to the disease. Quite naturally, I have a professional connection to the disease. In addition to me working for the Alzheimer's Association, I'm a certified Alzheimer's trainer or / educator. And that gives me a lot of introspective about the disease from a knowledge standpoint. So that's my professional connection. My personal connection is I was a caregiver for my brother, Ronnie, who died at age 54 from vascular dementia. What triggered his vascular dementia is the fact that he had two major medical events at the same time. He had a massive heart attack and a stroke. And so it was from the stroke that left him paralyzed on his left side. So quite naturally, the doctors were more concerned about his physical rehab. But I noticed with my knowledge and background in Alzheimer's at the time that my brother had changed. So I literally had to ask his primary care physician to reach out to a neurologist and a psychologist. Just so that you know, the only way that you can there are two types of diagnosis for the disease, a probable diagnosis and a definitive diagnosis. A definitive diagnosis is arrived at through death and autopsy. So the second type, which is a probable diagnosis, the probable diagnosis involves three sets of doctors: your primary care physician, a neurologist, and a psychologist. Between the three groups of doctors, they're sharing notes, going through a list of traits and characteristics to identify and eliminate different elements of the disease. And it's through that process I was able to get a probable diagnosis that my brother had vascular dementia. So I can tell you this, it was very devastating for me because I was not prepared to be a caregiver, even though I was an educator for caregivers. But it's a different thing altogether when you become a caregiver. I can tell you that early on as a caregiver, I was a horrible caregiver because I was too focused on the disease versus being focused on my brother. And I share with all the caregivers, everyone that I talk to, is that you have to become a good manager. And you're going to be managing two things. You're going to be managing your emotions, which will then allow you to properly and effectively manage the disease. And the most important emotion in all of this as a caregiver is to focus on the emotion of love, because there's nothing that you can do to change the course or direction of the disease. And as I tell caregivers all the time, you're going to waste a lot of times being angry, frustrated, and very resentful that your loved one has this disease. So instead of focusing on that, which is a lot of wasted energy, focus on what's really relevant. And that's the emotion of love, that you love that person. And I tell you, Ken, once I realized that that was the most important emotion to focus on, it became a little bit more manageable for me as a caregiver, because then it gave me opportunity to just simply love on my brother and accepting the fact that he's changed, and that in order for me to have a quality of life with him as a caregiver, I would have to change. And so I proceeded to do that, and I became a much better caregiver because I just loved on my brother. I mean, because it's very difficult when you're a caregiver. And, there's times when you may have good days and bad days. And one thing I can tell you is about a person that has the disease, they're still intelligent. They know things are changing about them. And so it would be like days when he would say to me, was I bad? And I, as a conscious caregiver, would have to not respond to that realistically. I would just simply say, you know what, I love you so much. And he would respond in return saying, I love you too. And I come from a family where the men hugged and kissed each other. And that's basically what it, really resulted in. Because when you hug and you kiss and you tell them that you love them, that gives them a sense of normalcy. It's a common natural reaction. They can still relate to that, no matter where they are in the disease pathology.
So, Keith, Sharon, who is a cantor and a singer, she shared with me that she took care of her grandmother, Rachel, from actually 1992 till she passed in 2014. And so Sharon said in the song that all the caregivers are our heroes. You're all our heroes. So I want to play Sharon's dedication to all the healthcare caregiving heroes.
Please do. Thank you.
It must have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine, that's your way. You always walked a step behind. So I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. A beautiful face without a name for so long. A beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I would like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle, for you are the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I've got it all here in my heart. I want you to know I know the truth. of course I know it. I would be nothing without you. Did you ever know that you're my hero? You're everything I wish I could be. I could fly higher than an eagle. For you are the wind beneath my wings. Did I ever tell you you're my hero? You're everything, everything I wish I could be. Oh, and I could fly higher than an eagle. 'Cause you are the wind beneath my wings. 'Cause you are the wind beneath my wings. Oh, the wind beneath my wings. Oh, you. You are the wind beneath my wings. Fly, fly, fly away. You let me fly so high. Oh, you. You are the wind beneath my wings. Oh, you. You are the wind beneath my wings. Fly, fly, so high against the sky, so high I almost touch the sky. Thank you, thank you, thank God for you. The winds beneath our wings.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. Thank you, Sharon. You did a wonderful, wonderful job with that. That is true. They are our heroes. The caregivers do what they do as a labor of love for their loved one. And I remind them of that all the time, because it is statistically known that 18% of our caregivers usually their health starts failing for lack of not taking care of themselves. So that's why I always remind them it's so important for you to take the time for yourself and to love on yourself, because you're running a marathon, not a sprint. And it's a long journey. So it's so important for them to do that. Because that love is the connection point that they have with their loved one. So again, thank you for that song. That was so moving.
So Keith, tomorrow is the longest day, and
Yes, that is.
It's a very special day in the Alzheimer's community. So I want to share the video about the longest day so people can get involved in tomorrow's huge day.
Absolutely, thank you.
The longest day is the day with the most light, the summer solstice. On June 20th, help us stand up to the darkness of Alzheimer's by raising funds for the care, support, and research efforts of the Alzheimer's Association. It's easy. Pick any activity you enjoy and turn it into a fundraiser to fight Alzheimer's. From bowling to basketball and card games to crafts, any activity can be part of the longest day. Your family, friends, colleagues, and the Alzheimer's Association are here to support you along the way. Together, we can get closer to our ultimate goal, the first survivor of Alzheimer's. The day with the most light is the day we fight. Start now. Select your activity at alz.org/thelongestday.
The longest day! Woo!
So
Yeah,
you
that's
mentioned-
that.
yeah.
That's the longest day is our second largest signature fundraising event, and it actually kicks off our fundraising season. I always say it sets the stage, but it also gives an opportunity to remember your loved ones by a very special activity that they enjoy. And I can remember, like for me, tomorrow, my brother taught me how to play chess. So guess what? I'm playing chess virtually with my family and friends to honor him and also to bring about awareness, because they ask me, why are you doing this? It's because we need to make sure we keep the conversation going. We want to shrink that elephant in the room till it kind of like disappears, until we find a course of treatment and therapy that will reduce the progression of this disease. And that's really so important. So these fundraising events really allow for us to be able to provide the hope for our caregivers and to show them and share that love with them, because they need it so much. And we provide that support through our programs, such as our support groups, our educational programming, our care consultations, and things of that nature. I really love talking to our caregivers because, again, I remind them that, you're still loved, and your loved one still loves you, even though they cannot openly express it, but they still love you, no matter what.
So Keith, how do people get involved in the longest day tomorrow or tonight signing up? How would people sign up?
Basically, they can go to the website, which is www.alz.org/TLD or /the longest day. And then they register a team and they start fundraising. I mean, the key thing is you want to set a goal. Set a goal, very simple, modest goal. It could be raising $50 to $100, but every little bit counts. Even if you raise $10, that still means something. Every dollar that raised, it goes to programs, research, and public policy advocacy. That's how we get the money for research. Later on in July, the week of July 27th through the 31st, we have our International Research Conference, where and this year, it was originally scheduled to be held in Amsterdam, but because of the pandemic, we're doing it virtually. And if you're interested in learning about research, again, you can go to our website, www.alz.org/AAIC. And I would encourage you to go to learn about all the fascinating research that's going on, because I'm almost confident that we're going to find a cure or a way to slow this disease down within the next couple years or so. So please take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, so all you lovers out there, sign up on alz.org for the longest day tomorrow, and whatever amount of money it contributes to finding a cure for Alzheimer's. And so everybody get involved. And so Keith, I want to show the public service announcement so people can get an idea, because your wealth of information is just huge. And so I want to show that public service announcement.
40 years ago, Alzheimer's disease wasn't discussed at the dinner table or in the doctor's office. But a group of people devastated by the disease came together to change that. Out of their passion, the Alzheimer's Association was born, and today is the leading organization in Alzheimer's care, support, and research. For the more than 5 million Americans living with Alzheimer's and their over 15 million caregivers, the association's free 24/7 helpline and website at alz.org are often a first source of information. From in-person support groups to online message boards, the Alzheimer's Association is available wherever and whenever help is needed. The Alzheimer's Association is the nonprofit with the highest impact in Alzheimer's research worldwide, behind only the Chinese and United States governments. Our investments of over $375 million in studies around the globe have uncovered new methods of diagnosis and deepened understanding about the risk factors and causes of this fatal disease. As a result of the association's vision and commitment, the scientific community is now poised to discover breakthrough methods of treatment and prevention. The Alzheimer's Association has activated a nationwide network of dedicated advocates who, together with the association, work at all levels of government to address the Alzheimer's crisis. Under the association's leadership, and with the support of champions in Congress, federal funding for Alzheimer's research has reached a historic high of $991 million. And policies to enhance access to critical care planning are now in place. No other organization has the reach, the knowledge, or the understanding to defeat Alzheimer's disease. But we can't do it alone. Stand with the Alzheimer's Association today to build a world without Alzheimer's disease tomorrow. Join us.
Yeah, and it's Alzheimer's Awareness Month.
Absolutely. Alzheimer's Awareness, Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. That is correct.
So Keith, I really want to thank you for being on the show. I love you so much. I mean,
I love you too. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I am looking forward to giving a rose to every caregiver. That's my goal.
Absolutely. And we're excited about the opportunity to partner with you. Before I leave, I would like to, I'm very spiritual, and I believe I have a bit of scripture that is very appropriate and just validates what you're doing, and it just simply confirms why we should be loving each other. This scripture is from Matthew 5, verses 43 to 45. And this is Jesus Christ speaking. You have heard that it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be sons of your Father in heaven, for he makes his sun rise on the evil and good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. That is why it's so important to love, because we are commanded by our Heavenly Father to love each other. And I have nothing but love for all human beings, everyone, no matter what walk of life they're from. So again, thank you, Ken, for having me on this program today and giving me the opportunity to talk about the Alzheimer's Association.
Wow. I love you so much, Keith. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you. I love you too as well, Ken.
All right, great. We're going to take a commercial break. Love you, Keith. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome all you lovers back to the Florida Love Show. And I am so honored to have Leslie, who I call Leslie Love, on the show today. Leslie has a longest day fundraiser that people can get involved with. And what I love about Leslie so much is she's such love, and at Florida Love, we have Love Will Keep Us Together, we have Roses for Change, and on every love group, Leslie's always loving everybody, saying, I love you. She's very special to me. So welcome, Leslie, to the show.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to be here.
So Leslie, share with me about your parents, and you took care of both your parents, and they both passed the same year, 2011. And so please share with me about your parents.
Well, they were very much in love. They were married over 55 years, and they were very active, thin, healthy. A lot of the risk factors we see in Alzheimer's were not in my parents' lifestyle back then. They now know some other things that could have been done and possibly would have extended their life and their quality of life. And because of that, I am very involved as a yoga therapist. We grew up boating. My dad was an amazing commodore of a boat club. My grandfather had 2 marinas. He was a pilot. My grandfather was the oldest living private pilot. They loved to dance and fish and stretch together, and they were very family oriented. So that was them.
Yeah, and you know, I really appreciate you sharing them with me. They're so beautiful, and I love them so much, Dorothea and Alan. So I prepared a loving memory to them that I would like to play for everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what's there for you, Leslie, when you share about the years with your parents and that, you know, what you went through?
It was totally unexpected. Although my dad had some memory issues many years before, there was no dementia. I mean, his dad would have lived well over 100, except for another health issue. His uncle over 100, very long life, very fit and healthy and loving. So for me, it was, and for my family, it was a bit of a shock. The fact that my mother had issues, was trying to hide them, would blame things that she did because of her memory issues on my father. It was very hard for us to believe that not just one of our parents, but both had cognitive issues. And my mom had Lewy bodies, which is a very intense, fast-moving, aggressive type of dementia. And they go in and out of reality. So people think that they have more mental health issues or psychoses versus dementia.
So you shared with me how you want to leave a legacy. So share with me more about your legacy.
It was really hard for us as the children because we were very cherished by our parents and thought we would have them for a long time to celebrate in many special things. So the legacy is that others wouldn't have to endure feeling so helpless when they're watching their loved ones suffer. At my mom's funeral, one of her dear friends spoke. They knew about my dad for years, but my mom covered it, and so it was fast, and they saw it. And she said it was like watching a Polaroid picture fade. And so for us as the children, thankfully we had the love. We teamed up and did everything we could to help them. And I made it my mission to research and learn what can we do to prevent it in ourselves, to make it easier for our family members so we're not feeling so helpless. So for me, I've actually just found out yesterday that I may be in a study. So by doing the things I've been doing and getting tested proactively, we've seen that I'm actually improving as I get older. So yoga for Alzheimer's is pretty much a culmination of the research I've done on what can we do proactively to maintain our brain health and help those who are suffering it. And I'll finish with the last thing. It's really showing the love for yourself, taking care of yourself, and by getting enough sleep, getting enough exercise, eating healthy, and loving your family members, accepting them where they are at now. And not correcting them, not doing anything, just loving them and helping them.
So Leslie, I want to show the yoga that you do because you're extraordinary, and again, I love you so much. So please show the yoga video.
Respira y levante los brazos. Stretch, wiggle your fingers. Estira, muévese los dedos. Mary, wiggle your fingers. Muévese los dedos. Y relájese. Inhala hacia arriba. And relax. Y relájese. You're bowing to the yoga god. Están saludando al dios de la yoga. And you're waving to me, y están saludándole a Leslie. One more, una más, one more. Y abajo. And then roll. Relax, shake it out. Sacude. Shake, sacude.
1, 2, 3.
No, shake.
So Leslie, tomorrow is the longest day, so please share with everybody how they can get involved with you.
Okay, so Keith actually gave the website. You just go to alz.org/TLD. And then you can join on my team, Yoga for Alzheimer's, and you can also join under me. I don't know if you have the page that shows the Zoom, but I am doing a Zoom class that is for fit caregivers or people who are just wanting to learn how to improve their brain function. And it's called neuroplasticity. They used to think as we got older, our brains really stopped being able to take in more information and improve. But they know now that they're neurologically plastic. So all things like laughter yoga and Satanama and super brain yoga. And what you saw those clients doing, those were already dementia Alzheimer's clients at Easter Seals. And I had a grant to help them. And in the 3 months I was there, the caregivers, the family members, and the clients themselves saw amazing improvements. And I personally know for me that I've tested better by doing this.
Yeah, so everybody join Leslie tomorrow and sign up with Leslie, Leslie Morris, and they can look you up at alz.org and participate with you tomorrow in the longest day and your legacy with what I'm seeing is to find improvements and with Alzheimer's through yoga and other types of therapy. And ever since I've known Leslie, she's like the yoga master, the yoga girl. She's always performing yoga. So please friend Leslie on Facebook and join her live classes. Correct, Leslie? Is that how they reach you?
They can reach me on Facebook. I'm teaching a class at 6 tonight because we know that stress makes everything worse, including our brains. So meditation, breathing, and releasing our stress is beneficial.
Great. So let's all light the longest day tomorrow. Leslie, I love you, love you, love you. All my love
you too.
To the Alzheimer's community. And so I want to thank everybody for watching the Florida Love Show today. And I love you all. Who can you give a rose to today? Love you. You've been listening to the Florida Love Show, where we've been spreading love in the Florida community. For more information, please contact me, Kenny Love, at 917-699-1995 or ken@florida-love.com or on our website, florida-love.com. See you next week, 3 p.m. Friday for the Friday Love Hour. Keep spreading love in your life and have a loving